Why is it today? The transfer portal says it's today. The transfer portal of time. Janice Tennant, the movie Tennant, moving backwards and forwards. Christopher Nolan. Janice, January 10th. Tennant, 10, backwards and forwards. Janice, the God that sees backwards and forwards. It was that month was the exact overlay of the Donnie Darko October 1988 month. And the 10th was when they talked about portals. And we found you go backwards through time, it connected to items going forwards through time. We went back 37 days, 37 progressions, go into 666, 777, 999, 111, 222, all of them. 37 is the 12th prime number, 12 number for the church. It's 37 is the prime number for the church. The first progression of 37 through the portal, backwards, excuse me, landed on December 4th, total solar eclipse. Forward through the portal 37 days, landed on the snow full moon. We knew we were in business. Backwards 74 days, landed on October 28th, the Gateway Arch date, Bill Gates' birthday. Not a coincidence. They're all just fake people on a stage. The Gateway Arch in St. Louis also opened on October 28th, so that is the Gateway Arch date. Forward, the second progression of 37, which is 74 days, landed on March 25th. That is backwards and forwards, the Gateway Arch in both directions, by the way. That's a long story. You went back 465 days. It was when Trump said he had the illness on October 2nd, the Donnie Darko date. You won't go forward 465 days, and you landed on a total solar eclipse. I believe it was the one last year. And on April 20th. And the illness that he had backwards through the portal was called the outer ring of forward through the portal. A corona is the outer ring of a total solar eclipse. And he had the illness backwards through we knew that the transfer portal of time was correct when we started seeing all of these different mathematicals and different things that they were doing. And it was also January 10th, 2022 was also a national championship game where they had Dr. Pepper transfer portal commercials. And that's why they keep talking about the transfer portal and college football and all that kind of stuff. So just speculative venturing. This is what would happen. He would rise. Let's go January 10th, 2022 to the Ides of March, 795 days. Now I want to go 795 days through the portal. You go forward, you land on the Ides of March. If he were to go down today on the 13th, he would rise on the 15th. Again, The Dark Knight Rises came out 2 days after The Dark Knight. 4 years apart, leap years, but 2 days apart. In other words, he rose on the third day. The darkened right eye, the dark night, the darkened right eye, the Dark Knight rises. He literally climbed up out of a pit per Revelation 11:7. 11:7 is November 7. When you go backwards through the portal, you land on November 7th, 2019. So I would consider the 13th, and that's when Mr. Big put everybody on LOCKDOWN on March 13th, 2020, during their ritual. It was his day. He was center stage. The day he goes down in a fake staged event to a body double or a clone or whatever it'll be, CGI, I have no idea. Your guess is as good as mine. Your guess on what day it'll take place is as good as mine, but I'm telling you, the 13th, frame 313 was the Zapruder film. Frame 313, the Zapruder film. Frame 313, the Sap Ruder film. That 313 was the shot. It was the pop shot. It's that one. Over there on my right. See the 313? Let me make it bigger for you. So we see how it says 313. It says March 13th. So they made that very famous. And so the fact that he would rise on the Ides of March and that the Ides of March transfer portals over it's interesting that 795 days also because it'd be 793 when he went down and 79 is murder in simple gematria where A is 1, Z is 26. If we were to do that 793 through the portal, when you go backwards, well, when you go forward, lands on March 13th. When you go backwards, it lands on November 9th, Donald. Or what many will tell you is a backwards 9/11. So it's got legs, it's got potential. Doesn't mean anything's going to happen. But you know, it's super interesting. The 37 progressions that we chart and track the items that land on March 13th, 7/11, 2010 total solar eclipse, Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers is a direct hit, 37 progression. iPet Goat 2 re-released on February 5th, 2024. Shooter, the movie Shooter, Dinty Moore, he kept practicing shooting the Dinty Moore can as a sniper. Dinty Moore comes to 88 in simple gematria. It's a match for Trump. So they were, what they're telling you, they were shooting Trump when Mark Wahlberg was popping off with his long range rifle, the Dinty Moore can. Did a gematria search, Dinty Moore came to 88. That's direct hit. Casino Royale, release date United Kingdom on November 16th. Purge, election year, Back to the Future, release date 7/20/2012. I'm sorry, I scrolled. Back to the Future release date 7/3/1985. The Dark Knight Rises, No Time to Die, in Quantum Leap episode, It's a Wonderful Leap. Nothing happened on leap day, but it is leap year. If you include both dates, it's a direct hit for The King's Man. It had the exact same ending as No Time to Die with the same lead actor. Can't make it up. They both toasted the fallen dead guy at the end of the movie over whiskey. Same amount of people in the room. Same lead actor. I think the same amount of males and females. Casino Royale release date USA on 11/17 for Zachariah 11/17. Now, the Rising Day is a direct hit to Christopher Lloyd, who had the right eye wound in Back to the Future. Skyfall USA release date November 9th. Remember, that transfer portal's over to this March 13th date. And Skyfall was all about the right eye wound and him going through the mouth of the dragon. And he said his hobby was resurrection. Resurrection. Helter Skelter release date 11/22/68. If you include both dates, it's the inauguration day of George H. Walker Bush, which was his election was the center. It opened the conversation. It was the opening scene of Donnie Darko, where Maggie Gyllenhaal, the only person to be in The Dark Knight and Donnie Darko about Donnie's darkened right eye. Maggie Gyllenhaal, the only person in both movies. The first word spoken in the movie was, "I'm voting for Dukakis." And that's who Bush ran against. Apollo 1 fire, death, disaster. I think a very FAKE event. I just can't take any of that stuff seriously. They like to shock and awe. That's what they do. They create their own movies just for you in the news. The movie Take Shelter, where the guy said a storm is coming and he was screaming it and yelling it. Donnie Darko director's cut. Release date is a direct hit in the Princess Diana event. I don't think that was real either, but that's just me. So anyway, I would consider 313 since the ritual was 2020. They had the same two football teams in the Super Bowl, the same team winning, same guy MVP. 313 was his big day in 2020. The beginning of many big days. So is it his big day again? Who knows? Your guess is as good as mine. Love you.